We're at Memorial Stadium for Game 1 of the 1971 World Series. This series is a historical matchup as the American League champion Baltimore Orioles take on the National League champion Pittsburgh Pirates. Pitching today for the Pirates is Doc Ellis. He will be opposed by Pat Dobson for the Orioles. It's 62 degrees here in Baltimore. Wind speed is 3 miles an hour out the right field, and we have light rain. Dave Cash leads off for Pittsburgh. He's the second baseman. Al Oliver bats second, the center fielder. Willie Stargell batting third, the left fielder. Batting fourth, the first baseman Bob Robertson. Batting fifth, the right fielder Roberto Clemente. Batting sixth, the third baseman Rich Hebner. Batting seventh, the catcher Manny Sanguian. Batting eighth, the shortstop Gene Alley. And batting ninth, the pitcher Doc Ellis. Baltimore has Boog Powell at first, Dave Johnson at second, Mark Belanger at short, Brooks Robinson at third, Don Buford in left, Paul Blair in center, Frank Robinson in right, Elrod Hendricks catching, and on the mound is Pat Dobson. Pat Dobson is making his first appearance in the World Series. He came over in an off-season deal along with Tom Dukes from the San Diego Padres. Dave Cash leads off for Pittsburgh. He was 12 for 26 in the league championship series, hitting .462. In the regular season, he had .235. He had 4 home runs and 48 runs batted in. First pitch of today's game was thrown out by the baseball commissioner, Bowie Kuhn. Or Kuhn, I guess. Doc Ellis, he been under some controversy lately. He's been taking shots in the papers against the Pirates management, saying they were a little chintzy on the accommodations that they provided for the team in Los Angeles. And he's also getting a little testy with reporters that were, he said, they were distracting him too much while he's trying to prepare for the postseason. I saw that Dick Young was taking some shots at Doc Ellis. That made me think that Doc Ellis might be right. Ellis was 1-0 in the championship series. He pitched a complete game. He 9 innings, gave up 7 hits and 4 runs. He walked 3, he struck out 2. In the regular season, he went 16-10. He had an ERA of 3.15. Or I should be talking about Pat Dobson. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Here's the first pitch. Curveball, low and outside, ball 1. And we are underway. Pat Dobson in the American League Championship Series. He made one appearance. He started. He pitched a complete game. He was 0-1. I believe he started game 2. Or no, yeah, I think he started game 2. In the regular season, Dobson was 23-10. He had one save. He had 7 shutouts, an ERA of 2.57 and a WHIP of .967. Love seeing those WHIPs that are below 1. All right, here's the second pitch. Fastball. Catch lays down a bunt. Dobson fields it. He throws it Johnson. Covering the throw is too high. It's in the stands, and Cash ends at second. Let's watch that one again. But maybe he got distracted with Powell running in. I might be distracted with Boog Powell running in after me. Here's the center fielder, Al Oliver. Oliver was 4 for 22 in the championship series. 182. He had 2 runs batted in. In the regular season, he had 299. He had 17 home runs, 74 runs batted in. So he's up, nobody out, runner in scoring position. Ball 1. Dobson's a fairly typical fastball pitcher. The 1-0 pitch, another fastball. Grounder down the first base line. That is foul. He looks at strike 2. Fouls it back. Hendricks is after it, but it makes the seats. It's a hard grounder to first. Powell's up with it. He'll take it himself. 1 out. Cash takes third. Here is Willie Stargell. Stargell was the MVP of the National League Championship Series. He had 450. He had 3 home runs, 10 runs batted in. In the regular season, he hit 295. He had 40 home runs and 107 runs batted in. To show how different my simulation was, in the real NLCS in 4 games, Willie Stargell was hitless. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Inside, ball 1. In real life, the Pirates beat the Giants 3-1. He looks at strike 2. Inside, ball 2. That evens the count. Below the knees and inside, ball 3. Full count. Liner down the first base line, but that's foul. Fastball, another grounder down the first base line. That's foul. Foul tip. Count remains full. Pops it up. Third base side. Foul ground. Brooks Robinson's after it. But it makes the seats. Count remains full. Ball 4. He works Dobson for a walk. Here is Bob Robertson. Bob Robertson hit .458 in the championship series. He was 11 for 24. He had 3 home runs and 6 runs batted in. In the regular season, he only appeared in 47 games. He was bothered with a knee injury, but he had .260 with 4 home runs and 22 runs batted in. But he came back to the Pirates in August. Too low, ball 1. Fouls it back, strike 1. Too high, ball 2. Ball 3, 3 balls, 1 strike. Ball 4, another walk given up by Dobson. Most of the Orioles have World Series experience. They appeared in the 1966, 67, and 69 World Series, but Dobson, this is his first appearance in the World Series. This year was his first appearance in the postseason at all. Here is Roberto Clemente. He hit .375 in the championship series. He had 1 home run. He had 4 runs batted in. In the regular season, he had .324. 17 home runs and 106 runs batted in. He needs 59 hits to reach 3,000. I estimate that barring injury, he will get his 3,000th hit sometime in June of 1972. Here's a curveball, caught the inside edge, strike 1. Grounder up the middle, Belanger to his left, dives. Tosses to second for 1. Throw to first. Not in time. Cash scores. Pirates take a 1-0 lead. That was a great play by Belanger. That's probably saved the second run. Even though the Orioles lost the 1969 World Series to the to the Dodgers rather, Mark Belanger put on like a veritable clinic on defense in that series. Here's Rich Hebner coming up for Pittsburgh. Hebner had .250 in the championship series. He was 3 for 12. He had 3 runs batted in. And in the regular season, he had .274. He had 30 home runs and 90 runs batted in. See what Dobson did as far as home runs. Dobson gave up 22 home runs in 290 and 2/3 innings. So he was about the same as Palmer and McNally. Mike Cuellar gave up a lot more. He gave up 39. Here's the first pitch to Hebner. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Strike 1. He swung at a bad pitch. Maybe a little over anxious. Pirates last appeared in the World Series in 1968 when they beat the New York Yankees. They also appeared in the 1965 World Series, and they were beaten by the Twins. But this is Hebner's first appearance in the World Series. Fastball. He hits a slow roller to first. Powell has it. He'll take it himself. 3 outs. But the Pirates get 1 unearned run, no hits, 1 error. They left 2 men on base. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Pittsburgh 1 and Baltimore coming to bat. After I put together my introduction video, I saw a blurb in the Sporting News that Baltimore coach George Bamberger is actually in the hospital with a heart condition right now. But they may let him watch some of the World Series on TV, so he is not here today. And hopefully he makes a speedy recovery. For the Pirates on defense, they have Bob Robertson at first, Dave Cash at second, Gene Elliott short, Rich Hebner at third, Willie Stargell in left, Al Oliver in center, Roberto Clemente in right, Manny Sanguillen catching, and on the mound, Doc Ellis. As I said, Ellis is under some media scrutiny right now because of comments he made both about the Pirates management and about the writers covering the postseason in general. Leading off for the Orioles in the first is Don Buford. Buford was the MVP last season. He appeared in the 1969 World Series. He had 231 that year. Let's see what he did. In the Championship Series, he appeared in 3 games. He had 625. He was 5 for 8. He had a home run and 3 runs batted in. And in the regular season, he had 292. He had 24 home runs. And he had 74 runs batted in. He walked 100 times this year. Here is the first pitch from Ellis. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike 1. Ellis is a fastball pitcher. Throws about as hard as Dobson does, but he tends to keep the ball low. Let's see how many home runs he gave up this year. He gave up 10 home runs. So that may impinge a little bit on the Orioles because they have some heavy home run hitters in their lineup. They had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. They had 4 hitters who had at least 20 home runs. And then Frank Robinson, after his early slump, he finished with 18. Baltimore scored 819 runs this year. As compared to Pittsburgh scoring 744. All right, we have no ball, 1 strike count. Here's the second pitch, changeup, high and inside, ball 1. Strike 2 called on a fastball. Hits a grounder to second. Cash is up with it, throws to first, 1 out. Here's Frank Robinson. Just like in the regular season, he got off to a little bit of a slow start in the LCS, but he finished strong. He had 235. He was 4 for 17, but he had 2 home runs. and he drove in 4. He walked 5 times. He had 287 in the regular season, 18 home runs, and 71 runs batted in. High, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. That was high, ball 2. It's a fly ball in the left field. Willie Stargell going back. He watches. That one's gone. Home run for Frank Robinson. And that'll tie the game at 1 apiece. This is Frank Robinson's 6th World Series. He appeared in 2 with Cincinnati in 1957 and 1962. And then in 3 with Baltimore, 66, 67, and 69. This is his 5th career World Series home run. That brings up Dave Johnson, the second baseman. Johnson hit 182 in the championship series. He was 4 for 22. In the regular season, he had 295. He had 22 home runs. He drove in 111 runs. This is his 4th World Series. He's a career 255 World Series hitter. In 17 games, he is 13 for 51 with 3 doubles and a home run. Here's the first pitch. Down and in, ball 1. Boog Powell's on deck. Pops it up on the infield. Gene Alley takes charge. He has it. 2 outs. Here's Boog Powell, who is playing with a bad wrist. He missed the first game of the championship series. But when he came back, he hit 286. He was 4 for 14 with a double. He had 1 run batted in. He walked 4 times. He stole a base in the LCS. His replacement at first base in Game 1, Chico Simone, made the most of his appearance. He went 3 for 4 in that first game when Baltimore beat Chicago. And in the regular season, Powell got into 133 games. He had 264. He had 25 home runs and 101 runs batted in. So even with the bad wrist, he had a better season for me than he did in real life. Powell was the MVP in 1969, and he was the American League Championship Series MVP that year as well. This is his 4th World Series. He's a lifetime 321 series hitter. But he has never hit a World Series home run. He has 18 World Series hits and 3 doubles, but he's never hit a home run in the World Series. Here's the first pitch from Ellis. Grounder to second. Cash is up with it. Throws him out. But Baltimore gets 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, no one left. We played 1 here in Baltimore. Game 1 of the World Series. It is Pittsburgh 1, Baltimore 1. We're on WJST in Parma, Norwich, Tuscaloosa, and Utah. This game is brought to you by Rocket Fuel Malt Liquor. I forgot to download their commercials, so maybe I'll have it for Game 2. For the Pirates in the 2nd inning, it'll be the bottom of the order. Manny Sanguillen, Gene Alley, and Doc Ellis. Manny Sanguillen hit, let's see. He had 300 in the championship series. He got in all 5 games. He was 6 for 20. He had 3 doubles. Drove in 3 runs. And in the regular season, yeah, he was the main catcher. They have rookie Milt Mays back up and Charlie Sands over from the Yankees as the third catcher. Charlie Sands is the 25th man on the roster, and Danny Murtaugh calls him the best number 25 man in the major leagues. Here's the first pitch. Caught the inside corner, strike one. Another fastball. Base hit in the left field. Buford is up with it. Sanguine rounds first. He's going for second. He slides. He is safe with a double. That guy, he is always hustling. He's one of the better runners for a catcher. Heard a rumor today at the series concerning the Cleveland Indians. They just made a trade for Alex Johnson. Seems that the Mets have offered Nolan Ryan, Jerry Grote, and $250,000 for Sam McDowell and Ray Fosse. I don't know, if I were Gabe Paul, I'd be giving that some thought, but that's with hindsight, because obviously we know that Nolan Ryan turned into an all-time great pitcher, but he was not looking that way in 1971, so I'm not going to really comment on that. Here's Gene Alley, the second baseman. He's the weakest hitter in the Pirates lineup, but he hit 263. He had I should have looked it up before I started. He had 3 or 4 hits, I think, in Game 5 when the Pirates, they just blew out the Dodgers 17-7. And Alley had before that, he had been scuffling at the plate. He ended up getting 5 hits in 19 times at bat. I think he had 3 hits in that game. And he finished with 3 runs batted in. In the regular season, he got into 146 games. He had 236. He had 11 home runs and 48 runs batted in. I don't know. In real life, Jackie Hernandez may have been I don't know if he was the regular shortstop for the Pirates during the season, but he was the actual regular shortstop in the World Series. But I am playing this game with in the alternate reality mode, so. All right. Runner on second. Nobody out. Gene Alley's up. Here's the first pitch. Fastball inside. Ball 1. He looks at strike 1. Sanguine goes. He's going for third. The throw. Sanguine's safe with a stolen base. They called that pitch a strike, so it's 1-2. That's the first stolen base of the series. Oh, man, I gotta look now. Let's see. Sanguine, how many stolen bases in the regular season? If you just bear with me. He had 7 stolen bases. He was caught stealing 5 times. The 1-2 pitch, fastball. Alley hits a shallow fly ball in the center field. Paul Blair coming in. He has it. Sanguian tags the throw to the plate. Sanguian dives. He is safe. It's 2-1 Pittsburgh. Here is the pitcher, Doc Ellis. Ellis hits a base hit into left field. Dobson having a little bit of trouble today so far. Here's Dave Cash, who's 0 for 1. He was safe on an error when he bunted in the first. And he came around to score. That was the first run of the game. Yeah, that was an unearned run, so Sanguian's run is the first earned run given up by Dobson today. Here's the first pitch. Grounder up the middle. Belanger to his left. Has it. His only plays the first. Throws out Cash. 2 outs. Ellis takes second. Here's Al Oliver. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to Powell in the first. Oliver had a good season, but he struggled in the LCS. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Willie Stargell's on deck. Foul tip. No balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Pat Dobson. But the Orioles, or the Pirates give up 1 run, or they get, oh my God, I'm terrible today. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They left 1 man on base. We go to the bottom of the second. It is Pittsburgh 2, Baltimore 1. In this Game 1 of the 1971 World Series, it'll be Paul Blair, Ellie Hendricks, and Brooks Robinson for Baltimore. Paul Blair, he hit .364 in the championship series. He was 8 for 22 with 1 home run and 3 runs batted in. In the regular season, he hit .232. He had 8 home runs and 47 runs batted in. He was the Orioles' regular center fielder this year and was spelled occasionally by Merv Rettenman. Rettenman also spelled Don Buford in left, and he got a pretty good amount of playing time earlier in the year in right field when Frank Robinson was struggling. Frank Robinson says he doesn't know how Rettenman could do it. Having to sit on the bench when he knows he's good enough to be a regular player and he could come off the bench and perform. First pitch to Paul Blair, fastball, swing and a miss, strike 1. Blair hits a base hit into left field. Stargell throws it back in. And we have nobody out. Runner on first. Here's the catcher, Elrod Hendricks. Hendricks got it at 2 games in the championship series. He hit .500. He was 3 for 6. In the regular season, he split the catching duties with Andy Etchebarren. Generally in a platooning situation. Hendricks hit .213 in the regular season. He had 15 home runs and 54 runs batted in, so wasn't bad. Down and in, ball one. Hits a hard grounder to short. Could be two. To second for one. To first. Double play. 6-4-3 double play. And Hendricks is coming up limping. Earl Weaver and the trainer are out. They are walking him back to the dugout. And we may have seen the last of him today. Here is Brooks Robinson. Brooks had a tough championship series. He was 3 for 19. He made 3 errors. But any one of the Orioles will tell you that they wouldn't get where they were without Robinson. In the regular season, he had 268. He had 20 home runs and 94 runs batted. He had a good regular season. This is Brooks Robinson's 4th World Series. He's a lifetime 194 hitter in the World Series. I remember that because in 1966, he went 0 for 19. That was against the Dodgers. Then in 1967 against the Giants, he came back. He went 5 for 24. He had 208. And after those two subpar series, in 1969, he had 368 against the Dodgers. He went 7 for 19. And he had some excellent work on defense. Him and Mark Belanger, boy, in that 1969 World Series, even though they lost that series, those two just put on a clinic. First pitch to Brooks Robinson, liner down the third base line. It's foul. Robinson fouls it back. Strike 2. High and away, ball 1. Robinson hits a base hit in the right field. He stops at first. He's not gonna challenge Clementi's arm. Clementi's arm, it's not quite what it used to be, but it's still really good. Here is Mark Belanger, the shortstop. He was 3 for 20 in the championship series. He had 1 double. In the regular season, he had 275. He had no home runs and 46 runs batted in. Like his shortstop counterpart, Gene Alley of the Pirates, Belanger's probably the weakest hitter on the Orioles. Fastball. He swung at a bad pitch there. Strike 1. Base hit in the left field. Brooks Robinson rounds second to third. Stargell's throw to Hebner. Robinson's safe. Here is the Orioles pitcher, Pat Dobson, making his first at-bat in the World Series. We have 2 outs, runners at the corners. Pittsburgh leads by 1. Fastball. He swung at a bad pitch. Strike 1. Low, barely inside. Ball 1. That was close. Check swing. They call. Strike 2. It's a liner in the left field. Stargell coming in. And it falls in front of him. Robinson scores. Belanger rounds second. He'll take third. We're tied at 2. Here's Don Buford, who's 0 for 1. He grounded to Cash in the first inning. Swing and a miss, strike 1. That was a curveball. Ball 1. There's a cutter. Ball 2. Ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Ellis looks like he might be a little rattled out there. Swing and a miss, strike 2. So we have a full count, 2 outs. Runners at the corners. Tie game in the second inning. Buford hits a fly ball into center field. Al Oliver drifting back, and he has it. The Orioles get 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. They left the bases loaded. We played 2 here in Baltimore, game 1 of the 1971 World Series. Pittsburgh 2, Baltimore 2. Coming in to catch for Baltimore is Andy Etchebarren. Willie Stargell leads off for the Pirates in the third. He walked in the first. Fastball inside, ball 1. In there below the belt, strike 1. Outside, ball 2. Too low, ball 3. Ball 4. Third walk given up by Pat Dobson. Here is Bob Robertson. He walked in the first inning. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Curveball, ball 1. Fastball, too high, ball 2. Another fastball, strike 2 call. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hits a fly ball into left center. Blair on the run at the track. He's got it. I thought that might hit the wall, but made a nice catch there. 1 out. Here is Roberto Clemente. He's 0 for 1 today. He grounded into a force play. That scored Dave Cash with the first run of the game. Fastball, strike 1 called. I think any baseball fan knows that Clemente put on a real clinic in the 1971 World Series. And they're saying that's when he became like a national name. We'll see if that happens here. I listened to all the radio broadcasts of the 1960 World Series. And I mean, he had a great series that year too. I mean, the guy played in 14 World Series games. He got a hit in every one of them. In my World Series, he played in 1965 and 1968. 1965, he only got into 3 games, so he must have got injured. He was 3 for 11, and in 1968, in 5 games, he was 5 for 18. So he's a lifetime 267 hitter in the World Series. He has no home runs. He has 3 runs batted in. The 0-2 pitch, fastball, grounder down the first base line. That's foul. Fouls it back. Count remains 0-2. Fly ball in foul territory, left field, but that makes the seats. Strike three called on a changeup. He got crossed up there. He knew it. 2 outs. Here's Rich Hebner, who's 0 for 1. He grounded a Powell in the first inning. That was strikeout number 2 for Pat Dobson. Foul tip, strike 1. Pops it up on the infield. Dave Johnson takes charge. 3 outs, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the third. It is Pittsburgh 2, Baltimore 2. Frank Robinson leads off for Baltimore in the third. He had a solo home run in the first. That was his 5th career World Series home run. Robinson has a lot of awards. He was a Rookie of the Year in 1956. He was the MVP in 1965 with Cincinnati, and in 1966 with Baltimore, and he was the MVP of the All-Star game in 1968. He has said many times and making his meaning very clear, he wants to be the first black manager in the major leagues. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike 1. But this year, though, he normally manages during winter ball in the Caribbean, but this year he decided to take the season off from doing that. Hits a grounder to third. Hebner is up with it. Throws him out. 1 out. Here's Dave Johnson. He's 0 for 1 today. He popped a Gene Alley in the first. Too low, ball 1. Hits a hard grounder to second. Cash is up with it. Throws the first. 2 out. Here's Boog Powell. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to second in the first. I'm looking here. In real life, the Orioles had a third catcher, Clay Dalrymple, on the World Series roster, and they didn't have the extra infielder Jerry DeVannen like I do. And I'm looking to see if Hendricks is hurt and has to miss any time in his series. The backup catcher will be Chico Simone. Simone has been used as a third catcher or an emergency catcher at various times during his career. Okay, middle of the order for Baltimore in the third. Boog Powell, Paul Blair, and Andy Etchebarren. Boog Powell is 0 for 1. He grounded at Cash in the last time up. Fastball, too high, ball 1. Powell hits base hit into right field. Clemente tosses that one back in. Here's Paul Blair. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the second. Orioles have 2 hits so far today. Blair hits another base hit into right field. It gets to the wall. Powell rounds second. He'll score. Paul Blair in with a stand-up. He slid in for a double. Baltimore takes a 3-2 lead. Here is Andy Etchebarren making his first at-bat in the World Series. He was 2 for 11 in the American League Championship Series. And he hit .258 with 11 home runs and 40 runs batted in the regular season. I was not expecting Boog Powell to be running for the plate on that one. Especially with Roberto Clemente making the play in right field. So 2 outs, runner on second, 2 high, ball 1. He hits a hard grounder to third. Pepner to his left has it, throws him out. But the Orioles get 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They left 1 man on base. We played 3 in Game 1 of the 1971 World Series. Baltimore leads 3-2. Baltimore has 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. They've left 3 men on base. Pittsburgh has 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. They've left 4 men on base. Baltimore has scored single runs in all 3 of the innings, and Pittsburgh scored a single run in the first and a single run in the second. Manny Sanguillen leads off the 4th. For Pittsburgh, it's the bottom of the order. He doubled in the second inning. He doubled, then he came in to score. Curveball at the belt, strike 1. It's a high fly ball into left field. Buford drifting over. He's got it. 1 out. Here's Gene Alley, the shortstop. He had a sacrifice fly in the second inning that scored Sanguillen. Sanguillen had stole third after leading off the inning with a double. Inside, ball 1. Elliott's a base hit in the left field. Takes a look at second, but he'll hold. Here's the pitcher, Doc Ellis. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the second. Ellis is an excellent bunter, and Alley is a good base runner. So they'll be watching. They're playing for the bunt. Changeup, he chased one out of the strike zone. Strike 1. Throw to first, Alley's back. That caught the outside corner. Strike 2. The 0-2 pitch. There goes Alley. The throw to second. Alley is safe. That's his first stolen base of the series. And that pitch was called a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on second. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's strikeout number 3 for Dobson. Here's Dave Cash, who's 0 for 2. He was safe on an error in the first. And he grounded to Belanger in the second. Al Oliver's on deck. Curveball, strike 1 called. Just low, ball 1. High and away, ball 2. It's a grounder to short. Belanger's up with it. The throw to first. 3 outs, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th in Baltimore. Game 1 of the 1971 World Series. Baltimore leads 3-2. It'll be the bottom of the order for Baltimore in the 4th. Brooks Robinson, Mark Belanger, and Pat Dobson. Brooks Robinson is 1 for 1 today. He singled in the second inning. And he came around and scored. Low and outside, ball 1. Caught the inside on the black. Strike one. Too low. Ball two. Fouls it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's a fly ball into left field. Stargell looking back. It's gone. Home run for Brooks Robinson. Baltimore goes up 4-2. That is Brooks Robinson's 3rd career World Series home run. That brings up Mark Belanger, who's 1 for 1. He singled in the 2nd. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike 1. Inside, ball 1. Low and outside, ball 2. It's a fly ball in the right field. Clemente near the line. At the track. It's out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's Doc Ellis' first strikeout of the game. Here's Pat Dobson, the pitcher. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the 2nd. That scored Brooks Robinson. So he's 1 for 1 with a run batted in. 1 out. Here's the first pitch to Dobson. Dobson, it's base hit in the left field. That's his 2nd hit of the game. Pitchers are swinging pretty good bats today, both Ellis and Dobson. Here's Don Buford, who's 0 for 2. He grounded to Cash in the 1st, and he flied to Oliver in the 2nd. Fouls it back, strike 1. It's a fly ball in the center field. Al Oliver drifting back. P has it. 2 outs. Here is Frank Robinson. He's 1 for 2. He hit a solo home run in the 1st, and he grounded a Rich Hebner in the 3rd. It's fly ball into right center. Oliver, Clemente after it. Oliver takes it. 3 outs. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They left 1 man on base. We played 4 in Baltimore. Game 1 of the 1971 World Series. It is the Baltimore Orioles 4, the Pittsburgh Pirates 2. Al Oliver leads off for Pittsburgh. He's 0 for 2 today. He grounded a Boog Powell in the 1st, and he struck out in the 2nd. Hits a liner down the 3rd base line. That's fair. That's rattling around in the corner. Oliver rounds 1st. Heading for 2nd. He is in with a stand-up double. I was just about to say that Pat Dobson looks like he might have shook off the butterflies that he may have had in the 1st and 2nd inning, but here's Willie Stargell. He walked in the 1st. He walked in the 3rd. Caught the inside corner, strike 1. Yeah, it looks like Dobson might be avoiding giving him anything to hit. Stargell hits a ground ball. Thought Johnson was going to play that. That was a base hit. Stargell with his first hit of the series. Oliver takes 3rd. But Oliver stayed at 3rd. We have runners at the corners. Nobody out, and here's Bob Robertson, who is 0 for 1. He walked in the 1st, and he flied to Blair in the 3rd. Dobson is in a jam here. The inside on the black, strike one. High, ball one, just barely. Just below the belt, strike two. It's fly ball in the center field, but it's right at Blair. Blair's coming in. He dives. He's got it. Oliver had to come back to third. Paul Blair makes a great play in center field. He saves a run. Here is Roberto Clemente, who's 0 for 2. He grounded to Belanger in the first. That scored Dave Cash, and he struck out in the third. Low and outside, ball one. Grounder up the middle, Belanger to his left. His only play is the first. Or no, I'm sorry, he stepped on second. Throw to first was too late. Al Oliver scored. That makes it 4-3 Baltimore. Here is Rich Hebner, who's 0 for 2. He grounded to Powell in the first, and he popped to Johnson in the third. Clemente's on first, representing the tying run. There's 2 outs. And Hebner hits a little blooper toward first. And Powell makes the catch. But the Pirates get 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They left 1 man on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's an official World Series game. Baltimore 4, Pittsburgh 3. In the bottom of the 5th for Baltimore, it will be Dave Johnson, Boog Powell, and Paul Blair. Dave Johnson is 0 for 2. He popped to Gene Alley in the first, and he grounded to Dave Cash in the third. Fastball, that was high, ball one. Low and outside, ball 2. Foul tip. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 called on a changeup. Second strikeout of the game for Ellis. Here is Boog Powell. He's 1 for 2. He grounded to Cash in the first, and he singled in the third. It's fly ball down the right field line. Clemente's after it. But that makes the seats. Too low, ball 1. Breaking ball outside, ball 2. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Inside, ball 3, full count. Ball 4. That was up and away. So 1 out, runner on first. Here's Paul Blair, who's 2 for 2. He singled in the second, and he doubled in the third. That scored Boog Powell. It's a base hit into center field. Powell rounds second. He'll take third. So we have runners at the corners. 1 out. And here is Andy Etchebarren, who's 0 for 1 today. He grounded to Hebner in the third inning. Fouls it back, strike 1. The 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 called on a curveball. Inside, ball 1. Too high, ball 2. It's a line shot into center field. Oliver makes the grab. That was right to him. Powell tags. The throw from Oliver. Powell is out. And that'll end the inning for Baltimore. No runs, one hit, no errors, one left. We played 5 in Baltimore. The Orioles lead 4-3. It'll be the bottom of the order for the Pirates in the 6th. Manny Sanguillen, Gene Alley, and Doc Ellis. Manny Sanguillen is 1 for 2. He doubled in the 2nd, and he flied to Buford in the 4th. That hit the inside corner. Strike 1. Ball 1. Curveball. Breaking ball. Etchebarren makes a nice grab on that one. Ball 2. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Curveball. Hits a grounder to short. Belanger has it. Throws him out. 1 out. Here's Gene Alley, the shortstop. He's 1 for 1 today. He had a sacrifice fly in the 2nd that scored Manny Sanguillen, and he singled in the 4th. Swing and a miss, strike 1. It's a base hit into right field. That's his 2nd hit of the game. Doc Ellis, he's 1 for 2. He singled in the 2nd, and he struck out in the 4th. They're playing him in for the bunt. He lays one down. Etchebarren has it. Throws to Johnson, covering first. Alley takes 2nd on the sacrifice. So we have 2 outs. Runner on 2nd. Here's Dave Cash, who's 0 for 3. He was safe on Dobson's error in the 1st, and he came around to score. He grounded to Belanger in the 2nd, and he grounded to Belanger again in the 4th. Gene Alley's on 2nd. With 2 outs, Alley represents the tying run. Inside, ball 1. Another one just inside, ball 2. Cash hits a base hit in right field. Frank Robinson's up with it. Alley rounds 3rd. He'll score. We're tied at 4 apiece. Here is Al Oliver. He's 1 for 3. He grounded a Powell in the 1st. He struck out in the 2nd, and he doubled in the 5th. He doubled, came around to score in the 5th. Cash breaks for 2nd. The throw from Etchebarren. He's out. Belanger makes the play. But the Pirates get 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, no one left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 4. It'll be the bottom of the order for Baltimore in the 6th. Brooks Robinson, Mark Belanger, and Pat Dobson. Brooks Robinson, he's 2 for 2 today. Singled in the 2nd. He had a home run in the 4th. He had a tough league championship series, but he's off to a fast start here in the World Series. Swing and a miss, strike 1 on the fastball. Hits fly ball into right field. Clementi's there, and he's got it, 1 out. Here's Mark Belanger. He's 1 for 2 today. He singled in the 2nd. He struck out in the 4th. Mark Belanger, lifetime with today's games, he is a 219 hitter in the World Series. This is his third World Series. He appeared in with the Orioles in 67 and in 69. Caught the outside corner, or the inside corner, strike one. Just missed outside, ball one. Dobson and L, they're having I notice a lot of pitches where they're just missing. They might be out there feeling like they're getting squeezed a little bit. Fastball, he hits a slow roller to first. Bob Robertson has it. 2 outs. Here's the pitcher, Pat Dobson. He's 2 for 2 today. He singled in the second. That scored Brooks Robinson. And he singled in the fourth. Hits a grounder to second. Cash up with a diving play. And Dobson's out. Cash had to make a great play to prevent Dobson from getting his third hit. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We played 6. Game 1 of the World Series. Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 4. Pittsburgh has 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They've left 6 on base. Baltimore has 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. They've left 5 men on base. Pittsburgh scored in the first when Cash reached second on Dobson's error. Al Oliver advanced from the third on a ground out. Willie Stargell walked. Bob Robertson walked that loaded the bases. And Clemente grounded to short. That forced Robertson at second, and Cash scored when Baltimore couldn't turn the double play. Baltimore bounced right back in the bottom of the first with 1 out. Frank Robinson hit a solo home run that tied the game at 1. Then in the second inning, Manny Sanguillen led off with a double. He stole third. And Gene Alley hit a sacrifice fly to Paul Blair. Sanguillen scored. That made it 2-1 Pittsburgh. Bottom of the second, Blair led off with a single. Then Hendricks grounded into a double play, and Hendricks had to leave the game after being injured. So with 2 outs, Brooks Robinson singled, Mark Belanger singled, and then Pat Dobson singled. That scored Brooks Robinson. That tied the game. So they put together a nice 2-out rally there. Bottom of the third with 2 outs, Powell singled and scored on Blair's double. That made it 3-2. Another rally that they started with 2 outs. Bottom of the fourth, Brooks Robinson led off with a solo home run. That made it 4-2 Baltimore. Then in the fifth, Al Oliver led off with a double. Took third on Stargell's single. And then with 1 out, Clemente hit another grounder that looked like it may have been a double play ball. But the Orioles couldn't turn the double play, and Oliver scored. That made it 4-3 Baltimore. And in the sixth, with 1 out, Gene Alley singled. He went to second on Doc Ellis' sacrifice bunt. And Dave Cash singled. That scored him with the tying run. So here we are in the top of the 7th. We are tied at 4 apiece. And Al Oliver leads off for the Pirates. He's 1 for 3. He grounded a Powell in the first. He struck out in the second, and he doubled in the fifth. Fouls it back. Strike one. Willie Stargell's on deck. Oliver hits a liner into right field, but it's right at Frank Robinson. One out. Here's Willie Stargell. He's 1 for 1. He walked in the first, walked in the third, and he singled in the fifth. Fastball in the inside corner at the knee. Strike one. Grounder down the first base line. That's foul. Hits a slow roller to second. Johnson's up with it. The throw to first. 2 out. Throw was a little low, but Powell came up with it. Powell's good at digging those balls out. He's got an infield of probably the best fielders in the game, and Powell, for a big man, moves around first base pretty well. Here is Powell's opposite number, Bob Robertson, the first baseman. He is 0 for 2. He walked in the first. He flied in the third. Flied out to center in the third. And he lined out to center in the fifth. Swing and a miss, strike one. Fouls it back. Dobson looks like he hasn't lost any of his velocity yet. High, ball one. Strike three called. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. That was strikeout number 4 for Pat Dobson. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 4. This is game 1 of the World Series. We're on WJST, Parma, Norwich, Tuscaloosa, and Utah. It's the top of the order for the Orioles in the 7th. Don Buford, Frank Robinson, and Dave Johnson. Don Buford is 0 for 3 today. He grounded to Cash in the first. Flied out to Oliver in the second. And he flied out to Oliver again in the fourth. Ball one. That was outside. Swing and a miss. He lunged at that one. Strike one. Just like Pat Dobson, it doesn't look like Ellis is showing any signs of being tired. Too high, ball 2. Ball 3, 3 balls, 1 strike. Buford hits fly ball into left field. Stargell going back. He's at the track. He's got it. 1 out. Here's Frank Robinson. He's 1 for 3. He hit a solo home run in the first inning for Baltimore's first run of the game. Fastball right at the knee, strike one. High and away, ball one. Fly ball down the right field line, hooking foul. Ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouls it back. Sanguine's after it, but it makes the seats. Strike 3 called out of fastball. Robinson was fooled and he knew it. He's just shaking his head, walking back to the dugout. That was strikeout number 3 for Ellis. 2 outs, and here's Dave Johnson, who's 0 for 3. Johnson's been having a tough postseason so far. He popped the alley in the first, grounded to Cash in the third, struck out in the fifth. Caught the inside edge, strike one. Ball one. Pops it up on the infield. Hebner takes charge. He's got it. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across in the 7th. We go to the 8th inning. Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 4 in Game 1 of the World Series. For the Pirates in the 8th, it will be Roberto Clemente, Rich Hebner, and Manny Sanguillen. Clemente is 0 for 3 today. He grounded to short in the 1st. That scored Dave Cash. He struck out in the 3rd. And he grounded to short, forcing Stargell in the 5th. That scored Al Oliver. So he was able to beat out the throws on 2 possible double play balls that led to 2 Pittsburgh runs. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike 1. So even though he hasn't got a hit today, he had a couple productive at-bats. He's driven in 2 runs. Low and away, ball 1. Clemente hits a base hit into right field. Pirates get the leadoff man on in the 8th inning. Here's Rich Hebner, who's 0 for 3. He grounded to Powell in the 1st. He popped to Johnson in the 2nd, and he lined out to Powell in the 5th. It's a grounder to first. Powell to Belanger for 1. The throw to first, not in time. Clemente's out at 2nd, but Hebner takes 1st. Here's Manny Sanguillen. He's 1 for 3. That's the 3rd double play ball that the Orioles were not able to turn a double play on today. Sanguillen's 1 for 3, doubled in the 2nd. He came around and scored. He flied to Buford in the 4th, and he grounded to Belanger in the 6th. Hits a grounder to first. Powell has it, tosses to Dobson covering. 2 outs. Hebner takes 2nd. Here is Gene Alley, who's 2 for 2. Hit a sacrifice fly in the 2nd. Singled in the 4th, singled in the 6th. Two outs. The go-ahead run is on 2nd. Up and away, ball 2. Strike 1 called. It's a grounder to 3rd. Brooks Robinson's up with it. The throw to 1st. 3 outs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 4. Doc Ellis back out in the 8th inning. He will face the heart of the order for Baltimore, Boog Powell, Paul Blair, and Andy Etchebarren. Boog Powell is 1 for 2 today. He grounded to Cash in the 1st. Singled in the 3rd, and he walked in the 5th. First pitch inside, ball 1. It's a hard grounder to first. Robertson has it. He'll take it himself. 1 out. Here is Paul Blair. He's 3 for 3 today. Singled in the 2nd, doubled in the 3rd. That scored Boog Powell. And he singled in the 5th. He's a good bunter. They think he might try to lay one down. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Strike 1. Strike 2 called on a fastball. It's fly ball into right field. Clemente's there, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here's Andy Etchebarren. He's in replacing the injured Elrod Hendricks. He's 0 for 2. He grounded to third. In the third. And he lined out to Al Oliver in the fifth. And Boog Powell was out trying to score on that attempted sacrifice. That play may loom large in this game for Baltimore. Change up, foul tip, strike one. Off the plate, ball two. Fouls it back, Sanguillen's after it, out of play. It's a grounder to short. Alley is up with it. The throw to first. 3 outs, no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We go to the ninth. Going to the ninth. Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 4. Game 1 of the 1971 World Series. For Baltimore in the ninth, or for Pittsburgh in the ninth, it will be the pitcher's spot. Dave Cash and Al Oliver. Pinch hitting for Doc Ellis will be Vic Davalillo. Davalillo was 1 for 1 in the League Championship Series. He appeared in 2 games. He appeared as a defensive or a pinch runner and a pinch hitter. He scored 2 runs. Outside, ball 1. In the regular season, Davalillo, let's see, hit .288, 3 home runs, and 29 runs batted in. It's a grounder to short. Belanger's up with it. The throw to first, 1 out. Here's Dave Cash. He's 1 for 4. He was safe on an error in the first. Came around and scored the first run of the game. He grounded to Belanger in the second. Grounded to Belanger again in the fourth. And he singled in the sixth. And that scored Gene Alley with the tying run, making it 4 to 4. Inside, ball 1. Looking ahead for the Orioles in the bottom of the ninth, it will be Brooks Robinson, Mark Belanger, and the pitcher's spot. High and outside, ball 2. Hits a fly ball into left field. Don Buford's there, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here's Al Oliver. He's 1 for 4. He doubled in the 5th. Fouls it back, strike 1. Fouls it back again, strike 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's strikeout number 5 for Dobson. Nothing across for Pittsburgh in the ninth. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 4. This is game 1 of the 1971 World Series on WJST, Parma, Norwich, Tuscaloosa, and Utah. And I will be right back. I need a splash of Rocket Fuel malt liquor because this game has got me on edge. And we're back. We are off to a sensational start in this World Series, I think. It's the bottom of the order for Baltimore in the ninth. Bob Miller coming in to pitch for Pittsburgh. Bob Miller made one short appearance in the championship series. He pitched a third of an inning. Gave up 2 hits, walked 3, and gave up 5 runs. He came over to Pittsburgh. Let me see, I made a note of that. He was traded from the Padres to Pittsburgh for Cy Acosta and Johnny Jeter. Miller, one of those guys, he's been around for a long time. And he is well traveled. He got into 20 games for Pittsburgh. Had no wins, 2 losses, and an ERA of 1.40. He had no saves. See if he ever been in a World Series before. He got into the 1964 and 1966 World Series with the Dodgers. So that meant he pitched against the Orioles in 1966. He has 4 innings pitched in a World Series. Gave up 3 hits, no runs. He has 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. So 5 years ago, he pitched against the Orioles in the World Series. And that, he would have a World Series ring because the Dodgers won the 66 series. Also pitched in the 64 World Series that the Dodgers lost to the Yankees. I should do a retrospective about the 1964 World Series. That was a very interesting series. 6 games, 5 of the games were won by 1 run. Yeah, Bob Miller, he was one of the last of the bonus babies. His bonus baby for the Cardinals. He was an original Met. Then from 63 to 67, he pitched for the Dodgers. Pitched for the Twins in 1968 and 69. He went to the Indians in 1970 in the trade that brought Greg Nettles and Ted Uhlaender to the Indians. The trade, Dean Chance came to Cleveland, and Louis Tiant went to Minnesota. And then in 1970, he started with the Indians, then he went to the White Sox, then he went to the Cubs. Cubs sent him to San Diego in the offseason. And the Pirates picked him up on August 10th. And leading off facing him will be Brooks Robinson, who's 2 for 3. He singled in the second. He had a solo home run in the 4th. And he flied out to Clemente in the 6th. Robinson's home run was been the last run that Baltimore has scored today. High and tight, ball 1. Miller's a fastball pitcher. He's 32 years old, but he still throws with some good velocity. And he is a straight-up ground ball pitcher. Brooks Robinson, base hit into right field. Takes a look at second, but he'll stop it first. They're sending Tom Chopay to run for Brooks Robinson. Here's Mark Belanger, who's 1 for 3. He singled in the second. He struck out in the fourth. And he grounded to Robertson in the sixth. Here's the pitch. There goes Chopay. Grounder to third. Hebner to second for 1. The throw to first, not in time. 1 out. Belanger's on first. Pinch hitting for Pat Dobson is Merv Rettenmund. Rettenmund got into 4 games in the championship series. He had 273. He was 3 for 11. In the regular season, he had 305 with 10 home runs and 70 runs batted in. We have 1 out, the winning run on first. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Too high, ball 1. Way outside, ball 2. Grounder up the middle, alley to second for 1. The first double play. 6-4-3 double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, no one left. We're going to extra innings here in game 1. Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 4. Jerry Devannon coming into play third. New pitcher for Baltimore, Dave Leonard. Leonard did not appear in the championship series. In the regular season, he got into 13 games. He had 9 starts. He had 4 complete games. He had a record of 7-2. 3 shutouts, in the area of 2.45. Leonard's fastball, curveball pitcher. He mixes it up. Willie Stargell leads off for the Pirates in the 10th. He's 1 for 2. He walked in the first, walked in the third, singled in the 5th. Grounded to Johnson in the 7th. Hits a fly ball into right field. Frank Robinson's there. He's got it, 1 out. Here is Bob Robertson. He is 0 for 3 today. Swing and a miss, strike 1. That caught the inside corner, strike 2. Fouls it back. Count remains 0-2. Inside, ball 1. up and away, ball 2. Strike 3 called on a curveball. 2 outs. Here's Roberto Clemente. He's 1 for 4. He singled in the 8th. He also had 2 ground outs in the 1st and in the 5th that looked like they may have been double play balls, but he legged it out. Orioles couldn't make the double play, and a run scored on each of those. So he has 2 runs batted in today. Curveball, strike 1 called. Clemente hits a base hit into left field, all the way to the wall. Clemente rounds second. He slides into third. He's safe with a triple. That brings up Rich Hebner, who's 0 for 4. He grounded to Powell in the 1st, popped to Johnson in the 3rd, lined to Powell in the 5th, and he grounded into a force play in the 8th. Powell threw out Clemente at second, but the Orioles couldn't turn that double play. So he reached first on a fielder's choice. Grounder down the first base line, that's foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chase 1 out of the strike zone, strike 2. Grounder to second. Johnson dives, has it, throws him out. Johnson saved a run, may have saved the game for Baltimore. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 4. Bob Miller's back out for Pittsburgh. It's the top of the order for the Orioles. Don Buford, Frank Robinson, and Dave Johnson. Don Buford is 0 for 4 today. He grounded to Cash in the 1st. Flied out to Oliver in the 2nd. Flied out to Oliver again in the 4th. And flied out to Stargell in the 7th. Change up, swing and a miss, strike 1. That almost hit him, ball 1. Too low, ball 2. Too high, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. He swung at a bad pitch, strike 2. Hits a grounder to third. Hebner has it to throw to first. Bang, bang, play. Buford's safe, he legs it out. That brings up Frank Robinson. He's 1 for 4. He had a solo home run in the 1st inning. Buford's on first, nobody out. Buford represents the winning run. Liner down the third base line, that's foul. Game says he could win it with a home run. He could probably win it with a double. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Hits a fly ball into center field. Oliver back near the track. Has it. 1 out. Here's Dave Johnson. He's 0 for 4. He popped to Alley in the 1st, grounded to Cash in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th, and popped to Hebner in the 7th. Buford goes with the pitch. Johnson hits fly ball in the left field. Stargell at the wall. Got it. 2 outs. Here is Boog Powell. He's 1 for 3. He grounded to Cash in the 1st. He singled in the 3rd, walked in the 5th, and grounded to Robertson in the 6th. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Too high, ball 1. Throw to first. Buford's back. Powell hits grounder up the middle. Cash to his right has it. Tosses to second for the out. No runs, one hit, no errors, one left. We played 10 here in Game 1 of the 1971 World Series. Pittsburgh 4, Baltimore 4. In the 11th inning for Pittsburgh, it will be the bottom of the order. Manny Sanguin, Gene Alley, and the pitcher spot. Manny Sanguin is 1 for 4. He doubled back in the second inning. Caught the inside corner, strike one. Below the knees and inside, ball one. High and outside, ball two. Low and outside, ball three. Hits a bouncer to short. Belanger up with it. The throw. Sanguin beat it out. Or no. No, they call him out. Great play by Belanger. Here's Gene Alley. He's 2 for 3. Hit a sacrifice fly in the second. He singled in the fourth. And he singled in the sixth. That's in there at the knees. Strike one. Too high. Ball one. Way inside and too high. Ball two. Low, just inside, ball three. It looks like he's trying to move Alley off the plate. Alley gets a base hit in the right field. It's all the way to the wall. Robinson's chasing it. Alley rounds first, heading for second. Round second, he dives for third. He's safe with a triple. They're going to draw the infield in. Let's see who's hitting. It'll be Jose Pagan pinch hitting. Jose Pagan, he got into 2 games in the championship series. He was 0 for 3. In the regular season, he had 256. He had 7 home runs and 22 runs batted in. So 1 out. The go-ahead run on third. Infield's in. Pagan hits a base hit in the left field. Alley scores. The Pirates take a 5-4 lead. And they're going to send Gene Clines in the pinch run at first. That brings up Dave Cash. He is 1 for 5 today. He was safe on an error in the first and came around to score. And he singled in the sixth, and that scored Gene Alley. Al Oliver's on deck. Inside, ball one. Low, ball two. There goes Clines. The throw from Echeverria, and he is safe with a stolen base. It's a grounder to first. Powell up with it. He'll take it himself. 2 outs. Clines moves to third. And that'll be all for Dave Leonard. Coming in to pitch is Pete Rickard. Rickard did not make an appearance in the championship series. He made 31 appearances in the regular season. He had a record of 3 wins, 1 loss, 2 saves, an ERA of 3.86. record previously played for the Dodgers. And the Senators before coming over to play with Baltimore. He got into the 1961 World Series with the Dodgers. And he pitched in one game in 67 when the Dodgers beat the Giants. He had one start. And he got into 3 games against the Dodgers when Baltimore lost in 1969. He has a career World Series record of 0-2 with an ERA of 4.09. They're bringing him in to face Al Oliver. Oliver is 1 for 5. He had a double in the 5th. Looking ahead to Baltimore in the bottom of the 11th, Paul Blair, Andy Etchebarren, and Jerry Devannon. Curveball high, ball 1. Too high again, ball 2. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 2. Inside, ball 3. Liner down the first base line, that's foul. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Third time today that Al Oliver struck out. But the Pirates get 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They left 1 man on base. We go to the bottom of the 11th. Pittsburgh has a 5-4 lead. Milt May coming in to catch for the Pirates. And new pitcher Dave Justy. Justy pitched 1 inning in the championship series. He had 2 strikeouts. In the regular season, he got into 48 games. He had a record of 3-6 and 29 saves. He had an ERA of 1.87. Facing him in the 11th inning will be Paul Blair, Andy Etchebarren, and Jerry Devannon. Paul Blair is 3 for 4 today. He singled in the 2nd. He doubled in the 3rd. That scored Boog Powell. He singled in the 5th. And he flied to right in the 8th. First pitch from Justy, strike 1. Strike 2 called. Down and away, ball 1. It's a line drive short, but Alley leaps and has it. 1 out. Here's Andy Etchebarren. He's 0 for 3 today. He came in as a defensive replacement when Hendricks left with an injury. He hits a base hit in the right field. Clemente has it, throws it back in. So we have 1 out, runner on first. Pinch hitting for Jerry Devannon is Chico Simone. Simone got into 1 game in the championship series, and he went 3 for 4 when he subbed for Boog Powell in game 1. Simone got into 52 games during the regular season. He hit 195, 5 home runs, and he had 16 runs batted in. That leaves Kurt Moton as the only pinch hitter available to Earl Weaver. Baltimore went with an extra pitcher on their roster. Swing and a miss, strike one. One ball, one strike, one out. Runner on first. Low and inside, ball two. Strike two called. Caught the outside corner, strike three called. Baltimore's down to their last out. Here's Mark Belanger, who's 1 for 4. He singled back in the second. Kurt Moten's on deck. Belanger hits a base hit up the middle. Etchebarren rounds second. He'll take third. So the tying runs at third. The winning runs at first. 2 outs. And the last of the Baltimore hitters is up. Kurt Moten. Kurt Moten, he did not get into the... I think he was in the championship series as a defensive replacement. In the regular season, he got in 81 games. He had 179. He had 1 home run and 4 runs batted in. Take a look and see if I need to use any pinch hitters, so I might use. Jim Palmer and Dick Hall might be possible pinch hitters if this game goes any further. Fastball, outside and low, ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Just miss inside, ball 2. Caught the inside corner, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 runners on. Foul tip. Oh, they're on the edge of their seats here in Baltimore. Strike 3, swing and a miss. That's the ball game. Pittsburgh wins Game 1 of the 1971 World Series. Pittsburgh had 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Baltimore had 4 runs, 14 hits, 1 error. Bob Miller gets the win. Dave Justy the save. Dave Leonard takes the loss. Pittsburgh was down 4-2, and then they scratched out solo or single runs in the 5th and in the 6th, tying the game. Yeah, I think the big play of the game, bottom of the 5th, with 1 out. Boog Powell's on third. Etchebarren hit a line drive out to Al Oliver in center, and Powell was thrown out at the plate trying to score. That would have gave Baltimore an insurance run. And then Pittsburgh was able to scratch out a run in the 11th. Every inning that had a run scored, it was a single run. Gene Alley, he went 3 for 4 today with a triple and a stolen base. That triple led to him scoring the winning run in the, or what became the winning run in the 11th inning. Roberto Clemente 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs. For Baltimore, Frank Robinson was 1 for 5 with a home run. Paul Blair was 3 for 5 with a double. Brooks Robinson, who'd been having a tough postseason so far, went 3 for 4 with a home run. Star of the game, I'm going to take a guess and say it'll be Gene Alley, and it is. And the word from the clubhouse is that Elrod Hendricks is day to day, so he may not miss any more of the series. This was a good game. I mean, the pitching today was good. I wouldn't say it was great, but the pitchers were able to squash several rallies, and neither team was able to put together a big inning offensively. This game was held on Saturday, October 9th. Game 2 is scheduled for Sunday, October 10th. And it will probably be, game says Walker against Cuellar, but I don't think so. I think it will be Walker against Palmer. I don't think Cuellar pitched game 5 of the ALCS. I don't think he'll be ready until game 3. Game 3 will probably be Cuellar against Steve Blass. They're the top pitchers for both the Orioles and the Pirates, and they both pitched in game 5 of their respective championship series game. So once again, our final score in game 1 of the 1971 World Series, Pittsburgh wins it 5-4 in 11 innings. This was an exciting game. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. And thank you for watching.